Your ability to decide is connected to your ability to become the person you say you want to be. How to become more decisive. Stop overthinking and start choosing. Have you ever known exactly what you wanted to do, but somehow spent 3 hours thinking about it? You ask everybody for their opinion. You make a pros and cons list. You research. You pray about it. You think about what could go wrong. Then you sleep on it. And when you wake up, you still haven't decided. And here's the thing. Indecision isn't always a lack of options. Sometimes it's a lack of trust in yourself. You don't necessarily need more information. You need to trust yourself enough to make a decision. Because the life you're asking for requires you to become someone who can choose. And today, we're going to talk about how to become that person. Welcome back to the channel. If you're here to elevate your mindset, transform your identity, and become the version of yourself that can actually create the life you keep imagining, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Part 1. Why you're so indecisive. Let's start with something important. Indecision is usually emotional before it's logical. You might tell yourself, I just need more information. But sometimes what you're really saying is, I'm afraid of making the wrong decision. And that's different, because if the problem were information, more information would solve it. But if the problem is fear, you can collect information forever and still not move. You could have 100 articles, 20 opinions, 5 experts, 3 friends, and you can still find a reason not to choose. Why? Because you're trying to use certainty to eliminate risk. And life doesn't work that way. There is no decision that comes with a guarantee. Every meaningful choice requires you to accept some level of uncertainty. So becoming decisive means learning to say, I don't know exactly what will happen, but I trust myself to handle what happens next. That's confidence, not knowing the future, trusting yourself with the future. Part 2, stop looking for the perfect decision. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to make decisions is because they're looking for the perfect choice. But most decisions aren't between perfect and terrible. They're between good and good, or different versions of uncertainty. Should I take this opportunity? Should I stay where I am? Should I start the business? Should I go back to school? Should I move? Should I leave? Should I start creating content? Should I finally pursue the thing I've been talking about for years? You keep asking, what is the right decision? Try asking, which decision is more aligned with who I'm becoming? That's a completely different question. Because your future isn't created by one perfect decision. It's created by the accumulation of decisions you make every day. Part 3. Decisiveness is an identity. Here's where this gets deeper. You don't become decisive simply by learning decision-making techniques. You become decisive by seeing yourself as someone who makes decisions. Your identity controls your behavior. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm indecisive, I'm terrible at making decisions, I always second-guess myself, I need someone else to tell me what to do, you're reinforcing that identity. Instead, start practicing, I am someone who makes clear decisions. I trust myself. I can make a decision and adjust if necessary. I don't need everyone to agree with me. And then, prove it. Because affirmations without behavior become fantasy. You have to give your brain evidence. Every time you make a small decision without outsourcing it to someone else, you're telling yourself, see, I can trust me. Part 4. The 3-2-1 decision method. Now let's make this practical. When you're stuck, use the 3-2-1 decision method. 3, 2, 1. 3. Choose 3 criteria. Ask yourself, what actually matters here? Maybe it's money, peace, growth, or freedom, time, alignment. Pick the 3 things that matter most, not 10, not 20, 3. Because if everything matters equally, nothing matters. 2. Narrow it down to 2 choices. If you have 10 possibilities, eliminate. You don't need 10 choices. You need your top 2. Option A, option B. Now you're actually making a decision instead of endlessly exploring possibilities. 1. Give yourself 1 minute. 1 minute. Look at your 2 choices. Measure them against your 3 criteria. And choose. Not because you're 100% certain, but because you have enough information to move. And once you've chosen, stop reopening the case. This is important. A lot of people technically make a decision, then spend the next 6 months reconsidering it. That's not decisiveness. That's delayed indecision. You made the decision. Now give the decision a chance to work. Part 5. Learn the difference between reversible and irreversible decisions. Here's another powerful distinction. Not every decision deserves the same amount of thought. Some decisions are reversible, others are difficult to reverse. If you're deciding what restaurant to eat at tonight, you don't need 3 days. If you're deciding whether to completely change your career, that's different. So ask, how reversible is this decision? If it's easily reversible, decide quickly. If it's difficult to reverse, take more time. But don't confuse important with permanent. Many decisions that feel permanent actually aren't. You can try something, you can adjust, you can pivot, you can learn, you can change your mind. Your decision doesn't have to become your identity. It simply needs to move you forward. Hash for Part 6. Stop asking everyone else what you should do. There's nothing wrong with getting advice. But there is a difference between seeking wisdom and outsourcing your authority. Sometimes you don't want advice. You want permission. You ask, what do you think I should do? But deep down, you already know what you want. You're just hoping someone else will make the decision for you. Because if it goes wrong, you don't have to feel completely responsible. But here's the truth. Nobody can live your life for you. People can advise you, people can love you, people can encourage you, but they don't have to live with the consequences of your decisions. You do. So learn to listen to other people without abandoning your own voice. Take the information, take the wisdom, take the perspective. Then come back to yourself and ask, what do I actually want? Part 7. Your body can tell you something your mind won't. Sometimes you've analyzed something so much that your mind is completely exhausted. This is where stillness becomes important. Instead of asking, what should I do? Ask, how do I feel when I imagine choosing this? Pay attention. Do you feel expanded, relieved, energized, grounded? Or do you feel contracted, heavy, resistant, drained? This doesn't mean every uncomfortable feeling means don't do it. Growth can feel uncomfortable. Fear can show up when you're doing exactly what you need to do. But there is a difference between, I'm scared because this is new, and something about this fundamentally violates who I am. Learning that difference is part of developing self-trust. Part 8. Make small decisions faster. If you want to become decisive about the big things, practice with the little things. You don't need to wait for a life-changing moment. Start today. Choose your outfit without changing 5 times. Pick the restaurant. Choose what you're going to work on. Send the email. Publish the video. Make the appointment. Say no. Say yes. Stop saying whatever you want when you actually have a preference. Practice saying, I want this. I don't want that. This works for me. This doesn't. Every small decision strengthens your decision-making muscle. And eventually, you start becoming someone who doesn't need to spend hours negotiating with herself. Part 9. You don't need confidence first. This might be the most important part. People think, once I become confident, I'll make better decisions. But often it works the other way around. You make decisions, survive them, learn from them, and become more confident. Confidence is built through evidence. You told yourself you'd do something, and you did it. You made a decision and followed through. You made a mistake and recovered. You chose yourself and survived someone's disappointment. You took the opportunity and figured it out along the way. That's how self-trust is built. Not by thinking about yourself differently, by experiencing yourself differently. Part 10. The decision that changes everything. Ultimately, becoming decisive is about making one major decision. I am no longer abandoning myself. I'm not going to constantly override what I know because someone else has an opinion. I'm not going to wait until everybody understands me. I'm not going to wait until I'm completely fearless. I'm not going to wait until I have a guarantee. I'm going to gather the information. I'm going to listen to my intuition. I'm going to consider the consequences, and then I'm going to choose. Because my life requires my participation. The 24-hour decisiveness challenge. So here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, stop unnecessarily asking other people what you should do. Instead, practice making your own decisions. Every time you catch yourself saying, I don't know, pause. Ask, what do I actually know? Then ask, what choice is most aligned with the person I'm becoming? Then choose. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to move. Because the goal isn't to become someone who never makes mistakes. The goal is to become someone who trusts herself enough to make the decision and strong enough to handle the outcome. Your next level isn't just waiting for you, it's being built by you. And every decision you make is casting a vote for the person you're becoming. So stop waiting for certainty to give you permission. Stop waiting for everyone else to validate your choice. Stop believing that one wrong decision can destroy your entire future. You are capable of adjusting. You are capable of learning. You are capable of recovering. You are capable of choosing again. And most importantly, you are capable of trusting yourself. The version of you that you're trying to become doesn't need you to have every answer. She needs you to start choosing. Choose your growth. Choose your peace. Choose your discipline. Choose your purpose. Choose yourself. Because eventually, your decisions become your habits become your identity, and your identity becomes your life. So make the decision, become the person who can make it, and watch your life begin to move. Until next time, keep evolving, keep elevating, and keep becoming the most powerful, enlightened version of yourself. Your next level isn't somewhere you go, it's someone you decide to become.